What is up, my friends and gamers? Today we're looking at something completely different. This is an LED projector from Artlii. This is a Chinese manufacturer. I don't even know what the model number of this is. They sent it to me. I think it's the X001UGJ67R. That's what's on the box. Otherwise, it just says Artlii Your Home Theater. And I'll be throwing in a picture of the box right now. So this is an LED projector, and it's rated at 3200 lumens with a contrast ratio of 1000:1. It'll display in 4:3 or 16:9 aspect ratio with a number of different zoom options. It is a native 720p projector. Now, this is a $200 projector, and there are a lot of projectors you'll find on Amazon that will list themselves as 1080p, but if you look in the details, they're really 480p native resolution, and of the inexpensive ones, these Artliis are some of the highest native resolution at 720p, but can support 1080p sources. So what's really cool about this is it's a projector. So it can display anywhere from 44 inches on the wall up to 200 inches. In my room here that I have it in where I'm testing it out, it's about 10 feet from the wall, let's say, and that projects an image of about 100 inches, which is pretty awesome. It has stereo speakers, and it has audio output for headphones as well, or for external speakers. We could take a look at some of these jacks here. So taking a look at the back of the projector, we've actually got kind of a lot of inputs here and some outputs. So we've got VGA, we've got HDMI 1 and 2, we've got two USB ports, one of which is a 5-volt out, so you can power some of your Amazon Fire TV stick, your Chromecast, anything that requires a little bit of that 5-volt power via USB. So that's pretty cool. You don't have to have that plugged in. You can keep this as a smaller package. Then you have this AV port, which uses this little nifty dongle. You plug it in there, and now you've got composite audio video for all your old school, for your VCRs that you can plug in. But I'll actually show you what I like to use that for later. Then it's got headphone out, so you can keep it quiet, and an SD, a micro SD port. So you can play some of your files from your computer either off of this SD card slot or via USB. So that's really cool. And here we've got a power port. And on the sides, nothing and nothing. But on top here, this is some important stuff. So it comes with this lens cap, great to have, but also it's got a focus wheel here. This gives you a crisp image from whatever distance you're trying to shoot at. You have to do it manually. It's not part of the OS, or you can't do it via the remote control, but you can get a crisp image by using that. And then this one is actually a keystone correction. If you're pointing, if you're tilting up, you can use this to make the image a little bit more square. Now, I caution against that because that will inevitably make the image a little bit blurry. It'll degrade the image. So the best thing to do is get this lifted up in a horizontal position, dead center with where you want the center of your screen to be. It's also got some buttons here on the actual projector that match the remote. The remote does not have illuminated keys, which is kind of annoying for a projector. You're going to be watching in as dark an environment as you can muster, so you're going to kind of struggle to see some of this. But that being said, this is a very well laid out remote control. I had a little micro projector, and the remote was like a mini calculator. It was just utterly stupid. This is more like most of the remotes that you'll see for like Apple TVs, Roku's, whatever. Very intuitive, so that's good. But here on the projector itself, you've got power, back, you've got the menu button, source button, and the four-way selector. So that's really cool. Very easy to operate. And I don't know if I mentioned the speakers, but it's got stereo speakers and it can produce sound either in regular stereo or in 2 different surround sound modes. It also has a few menu options. It'll have a menu for your video options where you can adjust parameters like contrast, brightness, like anything you would do on a TV. It gives you the option for a few levels of noise reduction, which I had difficulty seeing what the noise reduction was doing, so I just turned it off, and it looked great actually. Looks pretty good. I mean, and remember, this is a $200 projector. I have to keep stressing that as we go. This is a $200 projector, and at that price, it does a really great job at giving you this home theater experience. It comes with this user manual, which is kind of horribly translated, but you get the point. This dongle I mentioned, a nice HDMI cable, pretty good HDMI cable, your power cord, and the remote. That doesn't come with batteries, unfortunately. One other option that is super important, though, is in that video menu, you are able to change this from a front-facing standard view or a rear-facing standard view. You can set it so that you can hang the projector upside down from the ceiling, and it's shooting to the front, but it's flipped, so it works in this configuration. Or you can have it set up to be hung like this and shooting from behind the screen. So 4 different options for mounting or organizing, arranging your room that you're going to be setting this projector up in. And remember, I mean, this is also a very light thing. This is a small and light projector. I had an Optoma once and a Vivitech, and they were much bigger. But this is pretty small, and again, $200, and it's an LED and not a bulb. So this light source is going to last pretty long, I would assume. It's an LED, they last forever, but it's not going to output the same level of brightness as some of those other ones. Other notable features: you can display documents. There's a menu option for displaying files like that, like text files. You can display photos, JPEGs, bitmaps, PNGs. You can play music through this, although the speaker's good too. It's not amazing, but if you have this set up as part of your home theater system, and it's sort of like the center piece of the home theater system, maybe connected to a surround sound system, it would be great to be able to have everything available on that USB drive or hard drive, and then you have your audio files, MP3s, WMAs, M4As, AC3s. It'll support a variety of video files, AVIs, FLVs, MKVs, MP4s, MPEGs, MOVs, AVIs, 3GPs, DivX files, tons of stuff. It also supports a variety of languages: English, German, French, Italian, Spanish, Japanese, all in the menu. And I mentioned it was small and light. It's 5.5 pounds, which is pretty decent. And like I said, it's this big. It's maybe like 12 inches. This is 9 inches, and it's about 4.5 inches tall here. Last thing, they give you a 1-year warranty and customer service and tech support. All right, so let's get into a little bit of how this thing looks. How could I not look at Dark Souls? This is Dark Souls 2. So here's the game. Since I have no idea where I am in the game, I'm just heading back to where I know there are some enemies. And the game is responsive. I hit the button on the controller. It shows the input immediately as expected on screen. No lag whatsoever that I can perceive. Really good, actually. I was surprised. I kind of expected there to be some input lag. Alright, so now we're going to check out a 1080p 60 source. This is a Roku, and this is streaming a movie, Matrix Reloaded. And this is probably one of the ways that most people would be using a projector, is to have a movie night, big screen on the wall. And again, I have a pretty crappy screen right now. This is not a special screen. This is not a white screen, this is not a gray screen, this is my white wall. And in some of the brighter sections of the screen, if we're able to see that, you'll see that there's like even a textured pattern on this wall that is sort of like blotchy, splotchy, that is degrading the image. But in general, you're going to be able to see that the quality here is solid. Now this is a 1080p source, but it's actually a 720p native projector, so what you're seeing is the 1080p source being sent to our upscaled 720p projector. It looks pretty damn good. I mean, this screen right now has got to be 100 inches. You can watch this just for a second. You can see right in the middle of her face that's something on my wall. It's not a problem with the projector. Also, I wanted to show something maybe a little less dark. I was showing all that dark stuff, so here's more of a bright sort of source.
What's more American than a cat? You know what's more American? Benjamin Franklin. That's what's more American. Benjamin Franklin.
So you can see it's not a top-end projector, obviously, but for a couple $100 at 102 inches I have here, it's pretty good. Definitely worth having. And you're listening, I don't know how the sound is coming through, but the speaker on the projector is pretty good too. It has a few options for regular, normal sound, surround sound. Alright, and now we get to get into my favorite use for this projector. Just amazing. So actually, let's take a look. We've got a VGA, 2 HDMI ports, USB, and AV. This thing takes regular composite audio video cables. So here we are looking at my NES. And yeah, this is the real thing. So this is what it's great for. Playing the regular Nintendo how you've never played it before. A little River City Ransom, 100 inches, perfect. I know, this is not the high-tech look at a projector that you might be looking for, but this is GamerNode, and this is awesome. So, there you go. 100-inch River City Ransom. What could be better? Alright, so I mentioned input lag a little bit earlier. But I figured where better to test input lag or showcase what is apparently very minimal input lag on this projector than with a game where fast reactions really matter more than anything else. Punch-Out. And fighting our low-budget Mike Tyson here, Mr. Dream, because I don't have Mike Tyson's Punch-Out anymore. But this is on the real NES. And it's a real fight, and I'm doing it live. Oh, and that is where he always gets you. Those hesitations. And that was me, that's not the projector. That was me dodging too early, not messing up because I tried to dodge and it was too late. Oof. Again, dodging too early. Let's see if I can make it past a minute 30. That's really what you have to do. Hey, we made it. Oh, I got him in the first round. That's unusual. Well, now it's unusual. Used to be pretty common. Ow. So, he eventually beat me. But there you can see that with this projector, you are going to get the output that you need very quickly after delivering the input from your controller. If it's fast enough to knock down Mike Tyson in the first round, even though I got hit by 2 of those dynamite punches, I think it's pretty good. So there you have it. This projector from Artlii is pretty damn good, especially for just 200 bucks. It's gonna outpace most of what you find. You can see with this bright light how terrible this wall is. There's that weird blotch right in the middle of the screen, and you can see that patterning I was talking about earlier. But in any case, about 200 bucks. It's got a native 720p resolution, and it's great for movie night. It's good for gaming because of that input lag non-issue. It has a variety of inputs, you know, 2 HDMIs, a VGA, a regular composite video, AV, like I was using with the NES. It takes USB. It has, it'll do a 5-volt charge out of its USB port for something like your Amazon Fire Stick. And it's really, you know, just incredible for what you're paying and what you're getting. Really good call for this Artlii projector. I would recommend it. If you're looking for a projector on a budget, you know, it's not going to set the world on fire. It's not a $500 projector. It's not a $1,000 projector, but for 200 bucks, you're doing okay here. It's LED, so it's gonna last a long time. You're not gonna have to replace bulbs. It's really gonna do right by you, I would say. So if you were looking at this one on Amazon and you're wondering whether it was at least solid, I would say it is definitely solid. I'm gonna enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. This has been Ed from GamerNode. As always, have fun out there.